Harvey Dent. You know where Harvey is? Do you know who
Have
he
you
is?
ever wondered what really happened behind the scenes of one of the greatest superhero films ever made? The Dark Knight wasn't just a movie that changed cinema forever. It was surrounded by darkness, both on and off the screen. Today, I'm going to take you behind the curtain and reveal the disturbing truths Hollywood executives never wanted you to know. These aren't just rumors. These are the verified facts that will forever change how you see this masterpiece. I think the Joker killed Heath Ledger. Those chilling words came from Jack Nicholson after hearing about Ledger's tragic death. And maybe he was onto something. To truly become the clown prince of crime, Heath locked himself away in a hotel room for 6 weeks with nothing but his thoughts and a small notebook. This Joker diary contained disturbing imagery he'd cut from magazines, hospital patients, hyenas with blood-stained teeth, and comic strips with sinister alterations. The diary's pages were filled with the Joker's deranged thoughts, scribbled in character, the most haunting detail. On the final page, in jagged handwriting, 2 simple words, "Bye-bye." When filming wrapped, Heath couldn't shake the character. The darkness followed him home. That unsettling laugh, the irregular lip-smacking, the unhinged monologues. What if I told you these weren't fictional creations, but studied behaviors of actual murderers? Nolan and Ledger drew direct inspiration from some of history's most disturbing killers. The makeup resembled John Wayne Gacy's Pogo the Clown persona. The philosophical ramblings mirrored manifestos from the Zodiac Killer. Even the way Joker carried himself, the hunched shoulders, the sudden movements, was modeled after archived footage of institutionalized psychopaths. When you felt that chill watching Joker on screen, you were seeing echoes of real monsters. I slept an average of 2 hours a night, Heath confessed to the New York Times. I couldn't stop thinking. My body was exhausted, but my mind was still going. Warner Brothers carefully controlled this narrative during promotion. They didn't want audiences knowing their star was suffering from crippling insomnia and nightmares that left him dependent on sleeping pills. His family later revealed he would call them at odd hours, sometimes not sounding like himself at all. It was like something had taken hold of him, his father said, something he couldn't shake off when the cameras stopped rolling. Would you want to know if a role was destroying an actor's mental health? The studio didn't think so. Remember that iconic scene where Joker detonates the hospital? Something went wrong, and it made the scene legendary. The explosives failed to detonate properly. The cameras were rolling. Millions of dollars were on the line. In that moment of potential disaster, Ledger never broke character. His confused button mashing wasn't scripted. It was a real reaction to a real problem. When the explosions finally triggered, that momentary look of genuine surprise on his face, completely authentic. What you witnessed wasn't just acting. It was Ledger saving the entire sequence through pure improvisational genius. During a rehearsal for one of the film's high-speed chase sequences, special effects technician Conway Wycliffe was killed when the camera vehicle crashed into a tree. His name appears in the credits, but Warner Brothers deliberately kept this tragedy out of promotional interviews and press junkets. The studio feared the association with death would taint the film's reception. When Ledger himself died months later, Wycliffe's story was further buried, an unnamed casualty in the pursuit of cinematic perfection. Ask yourself, how many lives is entertainment worth? Look closely at the Joker's purple suit throughout the film. Notice how it gets progressively more soiled, stained, and lived in. That wasn't achieved through clever costume design. It was because the outfit was literally never washed during the entire production. Ledger insisted on wearing the same unwashed clothes day after day. The accumulated sweat, makeup residue, and environmental dirt created an authenticity no designer could replicate. This wasn't just method acting, it was creating a physical manifestation of corruption. The costume department reportedly had to keep the suit in a sealed container between shoots because of the stench. "Hit me! Hit me!" We all remember Joker taunting Batman in that interrogation room. What you didn't know? Christian Bale actually assaulted Ledger during those takes. According to crew members, Ledger continuously pushed Bale to make it real, to genuinely throw him around the room. The bruises you see on Ledger's face as he laughs maniacally, many weren't makeup. Heath wanted to feel Batman's rage, a production assistant later revealed. He believed the audience would sense the difference between staged combat and genuine aggression. The studio buried these details, fearing backlash about workplace safety and glorifying violence. How do you make an agent of chaos truly unpredictable? You keep him in the dark. Unlike the rest of the cast, Heath Ledger never received a complete script. Christopher Nolan deliberately gave him only the Joker's scenes, isolating him from the film's broader narrative. This wasn't just paranoia about leaks. It was calculated direction. Nolan wanted Ledger to embody a character who exists outside the story's normal flow, who doesn't plan or follow conventional logic. When the Joker seems genuinely surprised by other characters' actions, that's not just acting. Ledger often genuinely didn't know what was coming next. The Dark Knight is saturated with visual references to the September 11th attacks, creating a subconscious connection to America's collective trauma. Gotham's skyscrapers collapsing as people flee through dust-filled streets. A man in a suit falling alongside burning debris. Crowds watching televisions in horror as their city is attacked. When questioned years later, Nolan admitted drawing from post-9/11 anxiety. We were exploring what happens when terrorism strikes and how society responds. This exploitation of national tragedy for emotional impact was deliberately downplayed in marketing. The studio knew these parallels might seem exploitative if explicitly acknowledged. When Heath Ledger died on January 22, 2008, months before the film's release, Warner Brothers faced an unprecedented crisis. Their villain had become a ghost. Their promotional strategy collapsed overnight. What happened next rewrote Hollywood history. The posthumous Oscar campaign changed how the Academy views performances in superhero films. The carefully managed mourning process became a case study in crisis management. Most significantly, Ledger's death forced studios to implement new protocols for monitoring actors' mental and physical health during psychologically demanding roles. The tragic irony. It took the Joker's real-life tragedy to make Hollywood take the psychological toll of acting seriously. So there you have it, the 10 buried secrets of the Dark Knight that studio executives hoped would stay hidden in the shadows. Next time you watch this masterpiece, you'll see it through entirely new eyes. But I have to ask, knowing the real human cost behind this film, does it make the final product more meaningful, or does it cast a shadow too dark to ignore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Hollywood secrets they don't want you to know. Until next time, remember what the Joker said. Madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.